Today I'm here to talk about the proper pruning of crepe myrtles. You know, crepe myrtles have been a much maligned plant in the landscape over the last 20 or 30 years ago. It seems like everybody has an itching to just prune them as hard as they can. And even though these are really tough trees and they will often survive such pruning, you basically lose control of the plant once you start pruning it that way. It's really important to start with the crepe myrtle, the variety that's going to fit in the right spot in the landscape, because we have so many different choices of crepe myrtles in different sizes and growth forms, and flower colors for that matter. There are plenty of different crepe myrtles to choose from, so you don't choose a variety that's going to overgrow the space you had in mind. Looking at the tree we have behind us here, it's not too old of a crepe myrtle tree and it's been well maintained, but it does have a few issues in it that could be taken care of. A young tree might often have more actual stems that will develop into trunks, and if you have too many stems to start with, you're going to end up having a thicket of trunks, and there's nothing really wrong with that for the plant health, but it does aesthetically not look as nice as some well-spaced trunks that have low branches on them. But this one has good form. We can raise the canopy a little bit on this older tree. We don't need to worry about limiting the number of stems because it's got 3 nice trunks. And then we just have 2 other issues to deal with in the tree that are major considerations, and that's places where we have 2 crossing branches. These branches are very small, but they cross and rub each other and they wound each other, and that creates entryways for diseases and insects to cause problems. And then we have 2 major stems here in the middle that are crossing each other. We don't want things crossing through the canopy and interfering with other main branches. We need to decide which of these 2 stems we might want to take out of the tree. So I have the 3 trunks here. A lower branch on this stem is crossing the main trunk, or the main leader stem on this particular trunk. So in the case of this, I could remove this here and allow this branch to stay. But I am more likely to want to remove this branch here and allow the main stem of this other trunk to remain to continue the upright growth. And then the last step is if you want to do any kind of reduction in height or remove the seed heads, there are certain pruning methods that you use to do that. If you want to do any kind of pruning back below a seed head, you just look down the stem below that seed head and you look for little buds, and these buds occur every place a leaf was attached to that twig last year, and those what will give rise to new branch growth. But if you do need to reduce any branches height-wise, or maybe you've just got a long branch that's way out of bounds, you basically have 2 choices on that. You can completely remove that branch back to its source, or you can shorten the branch by doing what we call a reduction cut. Instead of making a pruning cut above a bud, you can prune down a branch to an existing, what used to be a bud, but is now a lateral branch, to shorten that branch. That way the natural growth of the tree is retained, because that pruning cut does not stimulate any new growth. The branch that we left behind will continue to grow and branch and flower from there.